Alright guys, let's talk about Xenoblade Chronicles and Monolith Soft's next project, because the music composer for the Xenoblade series stated that she finished a lengthy recording session that took her quite a while. She'd been working on it since summer 2024. Now, we don't know if this is associated with Monolith Soft's work or Xenoblade Chronicles, but it is fun to speculate and talk about what could potentially be happening, because there are some parallels between 2024 and that year for Monolith Soft and what they are doing and their potential new games. So we know that Monolith Soft has been working on something new that is quite different from the Xenoblade Chronicles series. The reason why we know that is because Mr. Takahashi himself, the studio lead, stated that in a recruitment drive for the game. They've been hiring now for a while. They've been growing in power. Obviously, Monolith Soft is broken up or split up into multiple different teams that handle a lot of stuff. Nintendo does use their expertise for a lot of different games, from The Legend of Zelda to Animal Crossing, Splatoon, and more over at Nintendo. But there is the Takahashi Team 1 that works on their new RPGs like Xenoblade. And I do think that this new game that they're working on, it is going to be something that they're probably going to reveal within the next year or so. And the reason why I say that is because we haven't had anything brand new from them when it comes to a new RPG title since 2022's Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Now, we did have Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition from Monolith Soft, but the whole team wasn't working on that. We had the 4K update that's been received kind of meh when it comes to it because of the upscaling that they used. I've really been enjoying it, and I will be giving you guys that review. I'm 100 hours plus in, but it's one of those things to where when it comes to a new game, we know they've been working on that, and that's where a lot of Takahashi Team 1's ideas and energy and strength has been going to. So if this music recording has anything to do with that, then that's going to be interesting, because I think that they should have something to reveal very soon here. Now, Monolith Soft has a history of using the Nintendo Directs, or using what Nintendo's presentations have become from the Wii U Direct all the way now to this point to reveal the one more thing. Xenoblade has been the one more thing in multiple different generations, from the Wii U to the Nintendo Switch, and I do think that we could see something like that this year on the Nintendo Switch too, because we know that they've been working on something probably since 2022, 2023. So now we're all the way in 2026, and I think it's time for them to reveal what that next big RPG is. Now, I think that if you look at what Monolith Soft can do, music-wise, they're always good. They've had some of the best in the industry. The music in Xenoblade games is awesome. So if what Mrs. Kyoto is saying here actually ends up being what they're working on next, I'm pretty sure it's going to be awesome. Even then, if it's something completely different, I'm pretty sure her talents are going to be used very well. But I think that with the Nintendo Switch 2, it gives access to something that Monolith Soft has never really had before when it comes to a video game system, at least in the current era. When it comes to a system that has so much resources and much more powerful than anything that they've ever been able to work on. Now, sometimes power can be used for good, sometimes it can be used to the point to where they get kind of ahead of themselves. And I think that Monolith Soft is a developer that knows how to use or maximize every bit of what they are given. And that struggle, or that maximization, creates an epic sense of scale and something different that adds more to the table than other RPGs out there. So I'm very excited to see how Monolith Soft can leverage a Nintendo Switch 2, considering what they did with the Wii U and the Nintendo Switch 1. I mean, they did some incredible things. They were able to get some awesome looking games despite limited resources of those systems. So with the Nintendo Switch 2, they have significantly more. So the massive scope and scale of a Monolith Soft game meets specs that are pretty good when it comes to a hybrid platform. So I'm very excited to see what they're working with, because I do think that it's going to be something absolutely spectacular. So we'll see what happens with this music here from this Xenoblade Chronicles music producer, and we'll see what happens when it comes to Monolith Soft's next new game. Look out for something, I would say, maybe at the end of the year. Maybe it could be at this upcoming Nintendo Direct that we should have in the first half of the year, but I do think that it could be something that they reveal in the fall Direct. So that could be the one more thing, or one of the showpiece games for a release in 2027. But once again, we'll have to wait and see on all that. But I'm excited for Monolith Soft's next new project, and I'm looking forward to what they have to offer here. So what do you guys think about the next big Monolith Soft title and the music and everything? Let me know in the comment section below. Jumping into Pokemon Pokopia Mania and how this game is selling out around the world. And the interesting thing about this is that it looks like the Pokemon Company and Nintendo and Game Freak and everybody involved underestimated the demand for this game. So shout outs to Nintendo Everything. They had a write-up on this, and they stated, with taking a look at the US first, many retailers do not currently have the game available in stock, and that's despite the fact that the game came on a very controversial game keycard. Best Buy, Walmart, Target are not taking orders at this time. Amazon technically has the game in stock. Not really if you look at it, because you don't get the game until much later, but they increased the price to $80, which maybe it seems like they're trying to take advantage of the hype right now, which nobody is going to defend that because the game is supposed to be $70. But as I'm looking at Amazon right now, I actually don't even see it for that price. It just seems like it's gone at this point. There's just no price at all, so I'm not sure what's happening there, but it was at 80 earlier. So it says see all buying options, $99.99, but that's through a third-party vendor. So right now, just you can't get the game at this point. I had to just check real time too, but more stock should be coming in with the next wave, as Walmart Canada did say. Now, I'm not really familiar with other retailers outside of the US, but it does seem like that is happening with other places. Walmart Canada, for example, sold through its initial allotment because of the massive demand, but you can pre-order and wait for the second wave of the distribution for the game. Same thing kind of happening in the UK and in Japan. According to reports, the game was seriously undersupplied at UK retail, and over in Japan, some of the big stores have sold out. Now, we are going to get our first details on the sales for the Gematsu this Thursday, so look out for that. I will be covering it bright and early, so we'll see how the Nintendo Switch 2 sales are affected. Did Nintendo ship a big allotment of Switch 2s in stores? And I think that's how we're going to know if Nintendo underestimated the supply big time or not, especially in Japan, because in Japan there's interesting pricing for the Nintendo Switch 2 system and for games there. So if Nintendo expected Pokemon Pokopia to be a big system seller type of game, they would have shipped a lot more Nintendo Switch 2s to Japan, and they would have shipped a lot of copies of the game. So we'll see what happens. There's sellouts in Japan for the physical copy of the game key card. So if we see big numbers across the board, then at least in Japan, they expected it to be a big system seller. Now here in the US and other places, I'm not sure if Nintendo expected that. I don't know how pre-orders were going, but really the buzz before the game came out, it was there from some of the cozy community, but really it was the reviews and the previews that caught people off guard. If you look at the comment section of many of the US previews, yes, it's the Dragon Quest Builders developers, but people did not expect the media to like the game as much as it did. So I think that positive reception for a cozy game, it's kind of hard to judge sometimes, that positive reception flipped things very quickly, and I'm not sure if Nintendo even anticipated that when it comes down to it, especially looking at some of the areas like the UK and all of it. But I think that's actually valid, just because lots of people were not expecting Pokopia to do as well as it did, especially with the reviews. So I wouldn't have anticipated this game doing as good as it is. Pokemon spin-off games do not sell crazy like this. They sell good, but a lot of Pokemon spin-off games do not sell like this. New Pokemon Snap was not like this. Mystery Dungeon is not like this. Most of the games aren't when it comes to spin-off titles, but Pokemon Pokopia has been something a bit different. So interesting to see exactly where this is going to go. The Pokemon Pokopia, I would say, landscape, people are building incredible things. I've seen people spend upwards of 100 hours into the game. I don't even know if it's even been out for 100 hours yet. So people are going crazy with this game, and that's awesome. I think the Minecraft and the Animal Crossing mixed with Pokemon and Dragon Quest Builders and Viva Pinata. It has a mixed mash of different franchises and different things. It's just a lot. That's just a lot of fun to explore. I'm still going through it myself. It just seems so vast and overwhelming. I need to get through the campaign. I need to just do a lot of the campaign stuff just so I can get through the game. But yeah, it's a fun game, and I think that more and more people are going to be buying it, and it does seem like it's going to be a system seller type of title for the Nintendo Switch 2 going forward. So what do you guys think when it comes to the Pokemon Pokopia situation? Let me know in the comment section below. All right, and moving on to the next topic here. Let's talk about South of Midnight for the PlayStation 5 and the Nintendo Switch 2. We have an official launch date for this game. So PS5 and Switch 2 versions of the third-person action-adventure game South of Midnight will launch on March 31st. Publisher Xbox Game Studios and developer Compulsion Games announced. Now, South of Midnight first launched for the Xbox Series and the PC via Steam and the Microsoft Store on April 8th, 2025, which is wild that it's coming up on a year on that game. It did not feel like that long ago, but yeah, it's definitely that long ago. Now, the Weaver's edition of the game includes the following content: a copy of the game, official art book, official soundtrack composed by Oliver DeVary, if I said that correctly, the Boo Hag comic book by Rob Gilroy, the music video, Song and Tales of South of Midnight, and the documentary, Weaving Hazel's Journey, Director's Cut. Now here's a bit of an overview of the game via Xbox Game Studios. From the creators of Contrast and We Happy Few, the award-winning South of Midnight is a spell-binding third-person action-adventure game set in the American Deep South. As Hazel, you will explore the mythos and encounter creatures of Southern folklore in a macabre and fantastical world. When disaster strikes her hometown, Hazel is called to become a weaver, a magical mender of broken bonds and spirits. Imbued with these new abilities, Hazel will confront and subdue dangerous creatures, untangle the webs of her own family's shared past, and, if she's lucky, find her way to a place that feels like home. Here are the key features: a dark modern folktale. When a hurricane rips through Prospero, Hazel is pulled into a southern gothic world of memory made real and must embark on a journey to rescue her mother and safeguard her home. In this folktale for modern times, Hazel will need to reconcile the weight of family, history, and legacy against her own identity, confront mythical creatures, wield an ancient power to restore creatures and uncover the traumas that consume them, cast weaving magic to fight destructive haints, explore the diverse regions of the South, and reweave the tiers in the grand tapestry of the Gothic South. Discover the lush, decayed country of Prospero and its locals. Experience a crafted visual style, touching storytelling, and immersive music inspired by the complex and rich history of the South. So yeah, very interesting. This game finally coming over after about a year, and it confirms Microsoft's commitment to what they've already stated they're going to be doing and what they have been doing, which is multi-platform development. Now, I don't know how this game's going to do a year plus later on PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2, but if it's going to find any success, it's definitely going to be on one of those two systems. So we'll see kind of how it works out. It's not necessarily my type of game. I did see it before, and it does look like it's kind of cool with some of the stuff. I might check it out if I get like a review copy or something like that, but there's just so many games coming out when it comes to it, man. It's crazy to keep up with everything. But South of Midnight did get some good reviews here and there. I know it's not a super highly rated game. I'm looking on Metacritic right now, and it has a 77 average on the Xbox Series X, so it's right there in the mid to high 70s depending on PC or Xbox Series X. So it's a solid game nonetheless, the 7 or 8 out of 10 type of game. Check it out if it's something that you think that you'd be interested in. But that's gonna wrap it up for this video here, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I do appreciate it. Please make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you're someone new, click that notification bell, and check out my other Nintendo Switch 2 RPG content and more right here on screen. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys for the next one. Peace.